Okay, I pulled out next group of projects, getting in bigger and bigger. It's my very first sampler. I got it from Teresa as Shakespeare's Peddler, Adam and Eve sampler, and like I said, it was my very first try at samplers. I got it in 2018. Stitch count 290 by 390. Suggested fabric was 40 count, and I bought it from her. Fog by Picture This Plus, and it's closer to 42 count once since it was dyed. I started in June of 2019, and I just recently, like yesterday, finished working for this month. And it was, since it's June 2019, it's my I believe second oldest whip that I have, and I don't know, is that about 15 colors, that's what it looks like. First and second page are fully done, and this is third one started like from like this area and go down, and the way I started this piece is from a very middle. I was doing words and then kind of went on the side. So I started with the third page. The wording is done on this small letters 1/1 on 40 count, and big ones 1/2, and majority of that is done 1/2, and I think it's turning out great. It's kind of muted all over colors, like it would be truly antique. So the third page is partially done, and I'm working now on the fourth page. So there is still 2 full pages going to be in here and 2 partial. I put in the pattern keeper for the stitch counting, markings and stuff like that. So it varies from page to page how many are per page. So once I'm done, I can tell you more how many stitches, X's are totally in this piece. But it's my second project, and I might include that in my monthly or bi-monthly projects for next year. We'll see how it goes, but I'm very happy how it's looking right now. And yeah, so it's time to get this cracking because I have other samplers ready to go. So the next whip was started this year in the May during Stitch Media. It's inspiration piece, well known by Rosewood Manor, designer Karen Kluba. She's a wonderful person to chat with, and from what I understood, this was her favorite piece at least a few years ago from what she had. And I've just started from a corner, and I know the lots of details, and inside is going to be very small, but all those veins, all those colors are beautiful. And stitch count is 230 by 290. Stitching that on a 32 count. Picture This Plus fabric. It's called Chime. Originally it was suggested on a moon glow, but it was, I believe, discontinued, although later on I looked up that I bought this color, but I like the current one much better. It's more subtle, so the colors pop out. And I have about 8% done because it was stitching so nicely. And here it is, the whole thing. Let me just squeeze in with you. Here it is. And the way I figured out it's easier for me to stitch if I do the veins with the green here, and then according to that I can, if I extend the branches, I can then pick a one thread color and just go with those extended branches, versus I do this and then calculate, do that, and etc. So for me it was very easy. You see, I started doing that, and I come back the same way, so it's more continuous kind of flow versus if you go like that. So that's like a tip if you've never done it. But as you can see, it's a lot of details, although the piece itself doesn't look very huge, is it? So I already reached these flowers are the middle parts in here, so this is middle. I reached the edges, and I'm sure it's gonna be amazing looking. I've seen it her model, and it's looking amazing, and that's what inspired me to stitch this inspiration. So of course it's not going to be done right away, but I'm gonna continue enjoying stitching this bit by bit. So that's inspirations. Okay, so the next one is the pattern. So you probably see me stitch on that around February, April, possibly August and October, because when the show came out or the main actors' birthdays are, they're like a top in a top 5 actors right now in China. It's based design on a show, the Untamed. There's right now like a novels coming out in English, and not the manga, but sort of comic book popping out too in here in US and the rest of the world first time. But the design is more like not a comic book, but more cartoonish kind of looking. Designer is Maria Skripnik. I got it in 2020, I believe. Pre-order from her. Pattern is 172 by 234. It has 53 colors, and it has blends, a bunch of back stitching too. And I started that on night, literally like when from October 31st into November 1st 2021. So when it's like the veil between real life and the other place is open up. And I love stitching on that. I picked the fabric 28 count Monaco, and I'm slowly working on that. Total is supposed to be 38,000 plus stitches, and I tried to put on a different type of frame, a square versus round one that I've done previous, so we'll see how it works. But the top is already covered up, and I have let's see what my thing says. I have on this piece done 31%, 31.7%. And again, I do area and then I start to fill in the back stitching, and that's one of the main characters. Head is already in here outlining. So the circle is almost done in here. Like you can see, like I'm getting those feathers in this area empty, leaving just picked the color and just went along with it. And Ranjan's outline is here, so we're just gonna continue probably next time when I pick up in October, a little bit put in there, and you can kind of see the feathers like this before outlining. So slowly but surely I'm working on that. Still quite a bit left, but that would be the second, well, not the second, but next in total amount of stitches project after inspiration. So we're going up and up in total stitch count. All right, and the next piece I'm gonna show you, I haven't printed yet, so I'm gonna show you on how it looks on the pattern. It's supposed to look like rings and all that stuff, lights. So it's Barbara Radvilaitė. She was the love of the Polish-Lithuanian king, and started that in July 1st, 2022, while I was in Lithuania, because I thought that's a proper time to do it. Let's see, pattern size is 264 by 358. Although she stitched in the oval, I'm probably gonna be filling in a background, most likely in the black, maybe a thread to do, but that's what she's she didn't live very long, had a hard life, but the love is like Romeo and Juliet. It was passionate, amazing. And what you see in this like not purplish color, it's what I've stitched. And let me show you what I have right now. The fabric that I picked is 24 count Stramian, and I'm stitching 1/1. I mean over one half stitch, so petite stitch with 2 threads, because there's lots of blends in there, and we can like look together. So you can kind of see I left some threads in here, and I've decided to start marking too. And right now the program is showing that I have 16.44% done, so there's still quite a bit left, and her crown is already shown a little bit in here, but a lot of brownish colors and oranges and stuff like that, and reddish. So I'm just going slowly filling in, and it's gonna take me a while to stitch it, but that's okay, right? I'm not in a huge hurry. Total stitches gonna be over 74,000. So yeah, but I love stitching on her. and we'll see what the next I come up with Lithuanian designer to point out what I want to stitch. And anyway, my mouth is already, I need to get some drink, and then I'll show you next piece. Okay, the next one, I can't find my printed piece, but this is like a beloved Alien and Rowan. It was like, I started this on a 14 count, doing in half stitch pattern by having a Nerd Designs. But then once I finished like a first row and started second, I changed my mind because I figured by the time I would finish it, we might move in a smaller house, and the big giant piece of this would not work for me. So I've restarted on a smaller count fabric. It was redone by Astra Patterns, and right now I have stitch count 250 by 325. Total stitches would be 81,250, and it became my monthly piece that I work on, one of my monthly pieces, and this is what I have right now so far. So it's 61.8%. It's already done, and total I have left just over 31,000 stitches. And this is stitching on 16 count antique white Ada with SIS threads, so that's a slightly something different. I think my light went out. We've been talking for so long. So that's the first time I'm trying SIS threads, and I think it's filling up quite well on 16 count, although it's a little bit thicker. I probably would okay to look even on the 14 count. So my plan is for this to finish next year. I'm about to roll it up so you can compare with the picture itself where it's at right now. So like her nose, like this area, so that's what's left to do. Their faces are all finished, and it goes fairly easy. It's not a lot of threads. It's like 21 symbols total, 9 pure and 12 blends to even out the skin tones and all the other stuff. So I think it looks great, especially when I stand back a little bit. It's like, wow, you know, that's what drew me, is the looks in there, and just the feeling you get from looking at this piece. So you can see like a tattoo on his arm. He had a tattoo on the face too. So it's not going to be much of the fun to continue stitching and seeing once this rolls up. It's going to be just the hands, the hair, and the outfit, but that's okay since I'm going to be finishing it up. So wish me luck. I want to do a possible row in here in those next 4 months, so you're gonna see that monthly again. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Well, I guess when I was looking at the full coverages, I bypassed by a tiny bit this Lanarte kit, and it's Permaculture series grouping. It's called Asian Couple, and the pattern is 262 by 246, so it's not exactly the square but similar. In total should be about 62,500 stitches. And what I have right now is since I started this on Valentine's Day in 2022, I have a 19.25% done of this piece. I recently worked on this too, and I loved it. Let me see if we can fit it all. Yes, it fits it all. And it's very easy stitching. It was my first Lanarte piece to work on, and this is so relaxing to stitch actually. The fabric that it comes in the kit is specifically dyed. You can see that the back side is not printed, so it's all in the front. It's very easy to stitch. It has mostly over the 2/2. There's a 1/1, and like I said, it's just like running full speed. And you see what I have done so far. Where my other scissors went, hiding somewhere, I kind of was working first on the background and then decided to work on the lady's hair, and that was going pretty fast too. I just pick a color and work until that area is done or the thread ends, and it was just fleeing me, the flying those needles, and very, very easy to do it. And only a few places that's gonna be unstitched. For example, this corner is like a biggest part that is unstitched, but it kind of blends in into the fabric. So I love, love, love this piece, and I can't wait to see her face, how it's gonna look. And of course there's gonna be more work to do and more color changes in those bright colors and stuff, but I love how stitching. The fabric, by the way, is 27 count fabric, so it's not the usual. It's specifically for Lanarte. They do like 27 count. There's several kits that come in that, so the stitches are not squished because it's more loose, and that's why it's so easy to stitch, and everything lays so beautifully. So this is a little bit that was bypassed by one or two pieces, but that's okay. And now let's go to the other ones in continuing. All right, so the next by the stitch count is by Chimera, and it's called Town Drawing 5. I bought it in 2020 and started in May of 2021. It has a stitch count of 350 by 234, and it has 48 colors and pure colors and 3 blends, and total is almost 82,000 stitches. So I've decided to stitch that full cross on a 16 count Aida. And it's fairly easy to stitch. As you see, it's not a lot of different colors, and let's see how much I've done as for right now since 2021 May, so it's been a couple of years. And you fitting in? Yep, that's what I have right now. So just started to go big row by couple rows together, what fits kind of in my frame in here, and just kind of going to the right. So right now it's going to be a lot of like a same color fill in, but turns out that you might actually be able to see the color change in here slightly. I guess it was a different dialect, so I'm hoping that when I wash it at the end, when I'm done with this, it's gonna wash off. By the way, don't worry, this is not the regular pencil markings. It's a special marker that I've been using on my pieces. I practice that, and it with the certain temperature of the like iron, it gets rid of it. So just slowly going to the right side, and as of right now I have just under quarter done, so 22.7% of this piece is done. So it's a full cross, so I'm trying to mix it in full crosses with the half cross to kind of relax between those things. So it's gonna be more colorful going down, but I love how the colors popping out of those bright ones out those windows. When I start stitching in those areas, it's like such a bright and such a black color right next to each other. So once you fill in, then you see that it's a light from inside. It's like a Kincaid effect happening, just burst of light, and there's gonna be more in there. I've been to this exact place, and it was also mentioned in one of my favorite books, and so it has a lot of memories. So that's why I decided to purchase this pattern and start stitching. So I'm gonna be doing it occasionally, time after time, because you've seen how many pieces I have. And if you've been watching my videos, I guess you kind of remember what the big pieces, full coverages and so on I have left. So I'm curious by the stitch count if you would guess which is next in the biggest amount past this one is. So did you guess it? I wonder if you did. If you were thinking that it's this one, you would be correct. It's a Chatelaine Baltic Sea mandala. In total, this one has 110,083 and a half stitches. So that includes all of the beads, back stitching, etc. And the size-wise pattern is 411 by 411. And let's see, it has 75 different threads and beads. I started March 10th, 2019. So let me pull her out. I'm keeping it in this, I don't know if I can even fit in. Let me see. I'm keeping with the 2 pillowcases because it has the silk threads, and I think I have it upside down, but anyway, since it's all the same, I don't want to get it dirty or dusty, so I just have like a curtains open up on this piece, and I recently worked on it, and I think it turned out pretty good. So the way I'm stitching this one is on the right side, so I don't have a lot done. After I bought the pattern from Chatelaine Martina, sadly she passed away and cannot create any new beautiful masterpieces like this. I found a lady who is remaking these patterns into like a saga. If you have a saga, I should say, program, so all of those even specialty stitches are marked in there, and it's easier to follow. So I had to show the proof that I had purchased the pattern. She just doesn't give out to anybody. And let's see what I have out of that. I have right now 14.3% done. So what you see, so I started from the very middle, and it has a Kreinik. I bought the like a threads and beads whole kit from European European cross stitch company. I just didn't order the DMC threads. The fabric I chose is Picture Twist Plus the Ariel 32 count Lugana. And let's see, it has a petite treasure braids, beads, Swarovskis, and all kinds of silk threads as was suggested in the kit. I love how it's turning out, and you can really see where the silk threads are just by the feel of it. And I'm just been filling in one side and another. I think I'm gonna do beads at the very last. Once I finish the stitching, I'm gonna go up on the top and then do the beading, and then change the way my frame is, so like to the outside, so, or just put in a different frame that I can maybe manage to fit the whole piece in it and do the beading. But right now I didn't do much of the specialty stitches. Let's see, except, did I have any specialty stitches in here done? I can't remember. Mostly I was doing like a just full stitches with the silks, petite treasure braids. Oh no, yes, I've done some of the specialty stitches, as you can see in here a little bit. So I've tried it and it was good, but right now I'm just filling up all the major stitches. There's going to be some that are done like with petite in here and different areas. So I'm slowly but surely working on that because it's such a pleasure to work. All right, I put my chatelaine away, covered it up, keep from a dust. And the next one is this one. It's also by Chimera. It's the Raindrops on the Lashes, I guess you would call it. I bought it in 2020 and I started working on 2021 September 1st because that's when you celebrate like a Children's Day internationally. And I thought this is great, plus September, like a rainy season, etc. And let's see, I have picked to try first time on 25 count easy grid whites and gray Lugana fabric, and I'm doing it in the half stitches. Let me pull it out for you. And I put it again on my own frame, so everything is gonna be shown. Let's see, the pattern size is a square, 350 by 350. Total is 122,500 stitches. It has 60 symbols. You wouldn't think it, right? 53 pure and 7 blends. So that's all the statistics. And also, besides the fabric, what I'm doing something different is I'm putting, because I'm stitching in a half stitch, I'm putting stitches to the way the raindrops falling. So as the top top portion of the full stitch, which usually I do just that way, but this is opposite. So once I start this piece, I have to rewire my brain, so I would work this certain way. And as you can see, I reached a halfway point. This is where the hood comes. There was also, I think, like this is a black and white, but I kind of like this with the extra little bit greenish colors and rosy kind of cheeks and stuff I want to try out. So as you can see, it's not a very huge piece. It's probably gonna be up to what, here or so, and just slowly working on that. And right now on it I have only 6.09% done, but since it's in the half stitches, it goes a little bit more. Of course, there's like always on those patterns, there's blends, as you see, and single stitches quite a bit interspaced. So I can't wait to see the how when the faces starts popping out, but that's not going to be very soon because it's not one of my main big projects that I'm concentrating. I'm kind of slowly kind of moving and picking a few which I can work more and then progress more, and these I pull out like occasionally. So that would be my next in the greatest amounts. And let's see if out of the few that's left, if you can guess which one will be next. All right, my next piece, I don't have a picture because I've started recently, and well, sort of recently, and I didn't get a chance to print it out yet. And it's called like a harvester or pioveia. It's Lithuanian painter. I hope it's not showing too much of the light. I started this in 2/3/23, and very tiny. Pattern size is 300 by 425, and it has 53 pure colors and 99 blends. So let me show you. Screen's probably not clean, sorry. Let me show you how much I've done. So it's on my homemade frame again, but I ran out, my store ran out of those sidebars, so been looking constantly to see if they're gonna bring more. If not, I'll have to order online. So I just put in like a symbolic, I think, what was it, 23 stitches in here. And again, I'm doing it on a 24 count Congress strum in, doing in a half stitches or petite stitches. Total is 127,500 stitches gonna have. And just very tip, this is where the corner is. I try to measure up like a half, like 3 inches off the each side. So it's very the corner there, and it's Lithuanian scenery. I'm curious what is hanging there, some kind of portrait or what. I remember when I was a child, and my grandpa used to have this on a long stick, like a death would carry a scythe, I guess, and would cut like a grass and stuff. And I tried it because it looked so easy when he did it, but I was a child and I was really struggling to keep it nice and steady and cut it. But this is pretty scenery, and I can't wait to see what's going to be in the background. So that's next biggest project, and like I said, I'll pull it out occasionally because I just started this year, so I need to work on my older projects, and I can't wait to put it in an actual frame versus like this one. All right, let's go to the next. We're getting closer and closer to the top one. Okay, folks, top 4 is coming up. So this next one would be Lilith. I've had the pattern from Heaven and Earth Designs, but I decided to that this was pretty big for me, and I had asked the friend to redo it in a smaller size, and she adjusted some things for me to work on. And let's see, so now the size, pattern size, is going to be 270 by 599, and in total it would be 161,730 as in stitches. So I've done just a tiny bit on that. I had it started in December 31st, 2017 as a height, and restarted on a different fabric, which is 25 count Lucas Congress over 1/2 cross. And let's see, so I've touched up just twice. First time just to try out in December of 2022, and then I picked up again once more this year, and you can kind of see the edge of it, like her horns showing up. I can pull it up in here, so you can kind of see right there, this corner where the flower just about to start. So that's all I've done. I'm right now I'm not marking fabric because I've been following this this fabric. It's my second piece that I've been trying with this Lucas fabric that I purchased online specifically from Europe, and it's gonna be biggie, but since it's a half stitch, and it also, with all those colors, it will have a lot of singles in there, so it's gonna be confetti heavy, I'm sure. So that was my number 4, and folks, top 3 pieces by the stitch count size are, let's see, number 3, ta-ta-ta-da, is A Spoiled Child, also by Astra. When I saw this picture somewhere online, just bypassing, I fell in love with the whole scenery, and she found it and did the pattern. So this one I've started, let's see, in February of 2019, so for getting age, but I'm stitching that full cross on an 18 count Ada. And if you watch my videos, it's one of my monthly pieces that I've been working. In beginning it was kind of slow, and then it took off when I started doing like every month. There's this I figured out in the past few years, if I want to do 2 rows, there's a specific amount of stitches I want to do each month, and it was like a 3,750 or something like that stitches. So far I've been doing well with that. Of course, in the beginning, as you see, there was not much to do on the wall, but the second half is gonna be more challenging. It's not gonna be as boring, of course, but it's gonna be more color changes. And the pattern size is 450 by 514, so it's not exactly square. And since it's on an 18 count, of course, it makes it bigger in the size. That's why I think I went to the 24 and 25 counts. So this is what I have right now, and by my plan, this row has to be done by the end of this year, so I'm pretty sure I can finish it up. It has 48 pure and 105 blends, so 153 total symbols. And I had some mishap with one color that somehow I got the wrong one. It was like in their faces, but I quickly found the mistake and fixed it, so that's great. Right now I have let's see, left 106,820 total stitches left, and currently it's 53.8% done, so I went over half point. And like I said, this is going to be interesting to stitch, not as boring, but I'm not going to see their faces, which is going to be sad. So this is one of my number 3 of the biggest amount of stitches that I have as a total. Of course, a cross stitch goes a little bit slower than half stitch, but not by twice, because you still have to search where the next part of the thread goes, and get the threads of the thread sorter and stuff like that. So it's not exactly like you're saving half the time. It's maybe quarter or something. But yeah, this is gonna continue, and maybe in 2025 I would be able to finish it, or by 2026 if I continue just like 2 rows a year. So we'll see. So that was my number 3, and 2 more left. Which one is gonna be? And in the second place is my Silk Queen. Pattern size is 500 by 762, and in total is 381,000 stitches. It has a 55 pure and 82 blends as a color wise, so total 137. And when you look at this explosion of colors, it's kind of hard to imagine that's only 137 colors, right? Well, not even colors, it's just the mixes. So of course I couldn't do it like on a 16 or 18 count, because that would be ginormous piece and I wanted to shrink it up a bit. So I've decided to work on a 24 count strumming again, and I'm doing that like petite or a half stitch. And again, I just put it on my horizontal frames. Let me kind of roll her up in the background. And it's a long piece. I started this on July in 2023, so not that long ago, but with one sitting I've had a good amount done. So let me pull her out, and I'll bring it out the part where I've stitched. So here are my frames. Fitting, ta-da-da. Okay, so here is what I've done. The whole area here I did once, I think, on this piece, and that is only 0.8% done, which is just 3,000 stitches. I still have almost 378,000 stitches left, and it's just becoming color explosion. It's gonna be a little bit easier like a wood part, but the flowers are starting popping out, and I think I'm gonna just mark it as I go and try to get rid of those markings, because that's gonna be for years to go, these big pieces. So you can tell, like if you take the 3 inches off here, so maybe about, can you see, like this is how it's going to be wide, and it's only on 500, so you have extra over 250, like add a little bit, half of that also, and then you would get the length. So that's going to be for years to come. But I love all how the design, of course, with my dragon. I'm a red fire dragon, so it's all goes together. And look at all those colors. So that cedar just itself, I think it's gonna be taking me long time. You can see my reflection, long time to stitch in here. So but I think it's gonna be totally worth it, and you'll be seeing that time after time. So there's only one more piece left, and I hope you've been enjoying watching it, and let's finally reach number 1 in the total stitch count. And do you remember my girl ghost? It was something, it was a free pattern from the lady that she lives Bulgaria or somewhere in Europe, called Anayaki, and she was just started to making patterns and give this as a free. So it's a 700 wide by 580, so total it would be 406,000 stitches, and it would be 168 different symbols, 25 clean ones, and 141 blends, so practically all blends. And I decided to try out on first time on a 25 count Lucas fabric. That was my first ever try, and let me guess if I could fit for you as a whole thing. Let me see. Yes, we're fitting it. Whew. So I decided to kind of put on the whole frame. I know some people prefer seeing small sections, so they kind of feel a fulfillment when I done it. But once I see the big picture, it's like, oh, I'm moving. So I started that in January 1st, 2021. So it's been 2 years. And I kind of getting into the point when I want to stitch even 1,000 stitches each month, because it's so many stitches. And a lot right now what I've been working in here especially is a background, so it's boring. Reminds me of my George piece, if you remember, that I worked the sky, and it was just blobs and blobs. But I know if I make a mistake somewhere in the wrong hole, it's not gonna make a huge difference, but I try to adhere to the pattern. And what you see in here is the hair sticking out, like filling in that hole sometime. So right now I have 16.8, yeah, 16.8% done. So I just at first I did one row, but then I decided I'm gonna just continue working within a whole frame, even though it's gonna take me slower. But I see more of the picture, because her head is gonna start coming out somewhere like here, and that's gonna be exciting to see. I know the ghost face and the whole body should be not as sharp as her, so I'm curious to see how her folds, flowing ones, is gonna be looking like. So just a little bit working, picking colors and going down, and then picking next one in the row and just filling in. So that was my so far biggest piece by stitch count that I picked and working on. So we'll see how it continues go. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I probably already split this video in several ones, so it wouldn't be way too long, and it wouldn't take too long to load it up. So I'm curious to hear you guys which ones of all of those 30 plus whips that I have shown you, which do you like the most, which you're looking forward to seeing it finished or seeing more often, and hope you're gonna tell me that in your comments below. So until that time, I'm gonna have to put everything back. It took me a while to record it in 2 languages, bit by bit, and I have to put it all together and upload and prep for slowly for my game 3 months to the finish line. I kind of picked already minimum 6 up to 8 patterns that I want to work on whips, and you'll find out that later on. But that's all for now, and don't forget to click thumbs up if you liked this video, and if subscribe if you haven't done so. And my kids are coming back from school, so I have to get going. So until next time, this was Jurgita saying bye bye.